Okay, that's not a good way to start this video. Hello, YouTubers, it is me, Still Too Normal 2, playing Expedition 33. Well, Clair Obscurity Expedition 33 to be precise. And yeah, it's Wednesday, so you know what that means. Another video where I talk about some random stuff. Anyways, I actually do have something I did want to share. There is what's that? I want to try something a bit different. I want to try predicting the future, which, yeah, that sounds crazy, but, well, before I do this, let me give some context. Expedition 33, in case you don't know, is humanity is slowly dying, and the paintress paints a number on her wall, and right at the game, it's 33. So humans that are 33 or over just disappear. It's kind of really sad if you think about it. You could have families, but your life with them will be very short. So the expedition is a crew of people that's going to the island to kill the paintress so nobody can die. And the human race, well, so nobody can just disappear and save the human race. That's pretty much the central goal of this. But I'm not going to dive too far into the story because where would be the fun? But yeah. Yeah, a lot of the Carrick party members here, I'll say this, are 32. Like, they're doing this because if they wait one more year and they do nothing, they'll disappear into thin air. So yeah, that's a big reason expeditions go every year. No one's been successful before, but could 33 finally be the one? That is the question. Anyways, back to my idea about predicting the future. Since I'm 30 years old myself, a lot of stuff has changed. Life, my town, my job. I've been there for 9 years, so that change is going to be natural. But yeah. Okay, it's not a top 10, but it's just some wild predictions I have. I like to speculate now and then. These could either happen... These may happen either I'm dead when they happen, or I'm going to be an old man, or they could be in the near future, or they'll never happen at all, which is okay. But you never know, I could get one thing right, and I'm sure that's what a lot of people want, to get one thing right. Anyways, I probably yabbered on, but let's get back to the video. Sorry, just been, sinuses, seasons changing, I am not feeling great. But yeah, what was I doing? Anyway.
Careful, some expedition has died here.
Okay.
There's an abnormal Nevron roaming about. And it has a taste for expeditioner armbands.
But anyway, back to what I was doing. Money will no longer be a thing. Now, I feel like, now when I say that, I'm not talking about currency and money will just disappear completely. No. I mean, the only way you're going to be able to buy stuff is either credit card or, actually, you know what? Scratch the credit card. Your phone. I can see it now. Phone companies will be like, okay, here's your credit card information's on this phone. Everything's tap to pay now. Well, I do work at a restaurant, and I've had some people come into the restaurant or at the drive-thru and they ask, do we have tap pay? Which we do, naturally. And I've seen them pull out their phones and just tap on the card reader and, oh, there it is. That's what it is. Not only that, but a lot of the cards now just have chips on them. Heck, I recently got a new bank card. Well, not a new one, but an updated version, and it has the tap pay on it, so... The reason I bring this up is because pennies are no longer being made anymore. Yeah, I know this decision seems somewhat new, but... That got me thinking, if they're quit making pennies, how long do we got before actual cash is no longer a currency anymore? Like, that's the question I want to ask. How much longer do we got before cash is no longer currency? Realistically, I could see this being a 10... a 10... maybe a 5... You know what's scary? I could see this being a 5 or a 10-year problem down the road. Well, not problem, but you know what I mean. It's just gonna make it very hard to do things. It's just gonna make life a little bit more challenging than what it usually is. But I suck at parrying, but moving on. Yeah, I do think that's the big reason cash is gonna be like, well, cash probably won't last long, since, you know, pennies are gone. Like, it's not gonna be overnight, at least as far as I know, but here's how I see it. Like, here's how I honestly see it. It starts with penny, then they'll be like, okay, there's no more change left in this world. And then they're like, okay, now cash is no longer an option. So yeah, before long, everyone's just gonna use their credit cards or use their cell phones like I've been seeing them doing to buy stuff. Honestly, it's kind of scary how far cell phones have become part of our lives, because I was in middle school when I was either in middle school or in 5th grade when the first cell phone with touch screens came out. So yeah, they were more of a luxury item back then and not a necessity. Like, I didn't even get my first cell phone until 10th grade. Actually, no, it was 9th grade, but still. Yeah, my family wasn't very rich at all. We were just struggling to survive, but enough about me. I want to focus on everyone else. But yeah, cell phones used to be just a luxury item only the super rich could afford, or you saved up a lot of money for that. Now they're more of a necessity. Like, we call people, we text, we get on the internet, pay bills, order stuff online, buy stuff online. Like, the reason I'm talking about cell phone is this brings me to my next thing: digital IDs. Now, as of now, you currently have to get a normal ID, but the first time I saw tap pay, like someone using their phone and they pull up their credit card on an app, it got me thinking, what if IDs are going to be like that? Here's how I could see them doing it. When you go get a cell phone at a phone company, they'll be like, okay, now you're required to take this test so we can get you a digital ID phone here, which will be separate from your actual phone. Or they could probably just make it an app for convenience sake. Like, I know we currently don't have this now, but give it time. I could see this being a very real thing. Like, when you pull up to a bar and you gotta show your ID to get in, the bouncer would have like this little device on it to scan your phone to see if it's a legit ID. Because I'm sure the app will have a card reader or something in there to show that, yeah, okay, it's real. Like, I'm kind of surprised we ain't at that point now, considering we've got tap pay, but this one, like the cash situation of just being digital cards or phone only, I give this one a 10 or 15 years. Like, the main reason I can see this being an appeal is, imagine not waiting in line to get your ID anymore, just fill out online questions and maybe get into a face call with the person who can actually make this information and do it for you. Like, that's another something. Alright, moving on. Working from home will be... Nobody will want to leave home anymore when they can just work from home. Now, I do work in a restaurant, but I feel like this is something that actually could happen. Not saying it will, but it could. 2020 definitely shook everything up completely. Like, ugh. I don't even want to talk about 2020, but I kind of have to get my point across. It's just... Ugh. Yeah, I remember back being a kid in the 2000s, it was rare for someone to work at home, but I feel like the number of people just staying home to work is growing more and more common because of everything you can do. This goes back to what I said about phones with the ID and the paying methods. Like, the day the internet was invented, I feel like humanity literally just ate the last golden fruit, if that makes any sense. Like, we have tapped into forbidden knowledge and wisdom that we now know. We can't unknow it because we already know it now. But yeah, that's generally how I feel. Which is not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. It could be a lot worse, but I'm just saying. Yeah. So, I know what you're asking, but too normal. If everyone's working from home, how are people going to make money? They're not all going to get disability, right? This is something I could actually see in the far future. Now, I hope it's not nearest future, but this one I can kind of see. This is one of those predictions. I'll either be dead before this happens, or I'll be an old man. I probably sound like I'm yelling, don't I? Let me tone it down a bit. Excuse me. Anyways, I could see myself being dead for this prediction, or being an old man by the time this happens. The reason nobody would want to leave their home for work is simple. AI, the technology and AI as a whole. Because you gotta think, technology and AI is always advancing. I'm pretty sure someone made a point that AI can never understand artwork. Which, if you've seen some of those image generations online, yeah, they definitely can. And I think I read a story about a guy who used AI to replicate someone's voice almost picture perfect, and I mean almost, to get this man arrested for, like, this guy who was accused of was a teacher, and somebody wanted the court to believe that he done something to children. Like, he almost got his life ruined because of AI. And that's actually the scary thing. Like, could you imagine if somebody was able to replicate your voice perfectly on a recording, and then doctor a recording to make it sound like, hey, I did inappropriate things to children, I'm proud of it. Like, could you imagine that right there? That is scary. Like, ooh. Like, ooh. I know one thing. Police are going to have to adapt to deal with AI as it's growing. I mean, they can adapt now with the internet, but still, it's just scary, you know, because the fact that AI can do that with your voice, I'm going to tell you now, before long, AI is going to be like, okay, well, now we can make a perfect model of someone on camera, like, look at here, this guy broke into your house, we have him on camera, or they could probably edit a video of you punching somebody, and this person would show up saying, this guy assaulted me, I got him, my friend recorded that. At first, police are obviously going to believe until they do look into the facts, which sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Not saying they're not trying to start anything, it's just, I'm just trying to be realistic on how it could go. But yeah, like, AI generally does scare me because I know on one hand it can be good for humans, but on the other hand, if humans use it to commit crimes like this, to try and set people up, it is a nightmare. Now, the reason I gone on a tantrum about AI is because, think about it, if AI and technology just does all the work, humans don't, I can see it now, the government's like, okay, humans do not need to do anything, they can just enjoy a life of comfort. Which brings me to the thing, has anyone ever seen the movie WALL-E? Like, I'm not saying we're all going to gain weight and go to space, but it feels like that's where we're heading. Humanity's just going to be like, well, we're lazy, we don't really need to do anything no more. And then, that'll happen. Not saying that's us, it's just, the fact that it is a possibility should tell you everything you need to know. Like, AI freaking terrifies me. Like I said with the whole guy getting accused of things he didn't do. Oh yeah, the police were actually able to decipher that it was AI that mimicked his voice. But can you imagine how terrifying that must have been for him? Like, to be accused of saying, like, even, like, I don't doubt there are some really bad adults out there that do horrible things to children. Like, I know for a fact there are. We see stories about these every day or read about it online. And could you imagine if somebody made the accusation of you and they're like, I have your voice saying that you did it and you liked it? That is terrifying because you know you didn't do it, but the cops might not believe you. So, shout outs to the cops or detectives or whoever was able to figure out that was AI, because, ooh, I do not want to think about the outcome that could have ended it. Like, that's why AI scares me, and I'm hoping when humans get to the point where they just don't work anymore, I'm hoping I'm a very old man. I'm hoping I'm an old man by then, or I'm long gone. Okay, now let's go away from dark, depressing stuff to something positive. Video games. Now, let's be honest, video games are always evolving. There's no stopping that. I'm pretty sure someone's probably thinking, when are we going to get to that stage where we're going to be like, can we go inside the game? And when I say that, I'm going to think Sword Art Online, if you need an example. I don't doubt we're heading that way. I mean, we kind of already are with VR, but no doubt VR is going to be taken to the next level. That's for sure. As long as they don't trap us in a game like they did in Sword Art, I think it'll be okay. But we will see. I think one of the things that would scare me is if you can feel pain in a game, like actually feel that stuff hurt, then I feel like that's when something's seriously wrong. But other than that, I mean, could you imagine playing the next Elder Scrolls? Like, imagine playing Skyrim like this and shouting the words of power! Power! So sorry about that. I am just, wow. Oh boy. Anyways. But yeah, I do think video games are getting to that point where eventually it'll be like Sword Art where we can just go in them. As long as they don't go far strange, then we should be okay. Could you imagine if we actually got to go into a Pokemon game like that? Like, just go in the world? Well, I'm not gonna lie, at that point, I probably wouldn't need to play any other games, so I'd be satisfied right then and there. But yeah. Let's see, Swift Stride, yeah. Fun fact about... I'm gonna take a break from the predictions and tell you this. Fun fact, this game was actually nominated Game of the Year last year, and it had some really strong contenders, like... My nominee, which almost was there, but it got 3 awards, was Metaphor ReFantazio. Because I felt like that game captured something that Atlas just kind of been missing. We haven't gotten any good... To me, we haven't gotten anything as good as Metaphor. And when I first saw this game, I'm like, I knew this game was popular, but how good is it? I recently played this game because it was on sale. And... I just had to buy it. So, the story behind Expedition 33 is also a good one. But yeah, it is also a great one. The story behind this game. But yeah. Shoutouts to the team who made this game because I can only imagine it wasn't easy. But you did great. I can see why this is Game of the Year now. Because you all got peak performance. But I cannot, like, I haven't even beaten the game yet. I think I'm on the halfway point. Right now I'm just taking a break and doing random fights for this video. But shoutouts to the team who made this. They deserve it. Anyways, back to my future predictions. Talked about money, IDs, how scary AI can be, and how people may not work in the future. And video games. What else is there to say? I know my job's gonna evolve constantly. I ain't mentioning, like, I may not have mentioned exactly where I work,
Whoa.
but if you've seen some of my past videos or me doing the sound, then I'm pretty sure you know where I work at. The thing about working, not just fast food, but anywheres, it's changing. Like, probably in a few years from now, my restaurant might get an overhaul or redesign. Not saying it's bad, it's horrible looking. It looks fine the way it is. It's just, I feel like it's gonna happen. Maybe I'll be 40. I could either be 40 or 50 or probably late 60s if this happens. Or we may get another location, who knows, but it's definitely something I figured I should bring out here on the consider board. But yeah, I figured that was something I should have brought out on the consider board. But it's definitely a unique premise, for sure. But yeah, the restaurants. But
Flowing.
it ain't just my restaurant, like other stores will change. A good example of that was the Walmart I go to for grocery shopping and occasional games. It went last year it underwent a redevelopment because before I was born, that store was exactly the way it was. Last year they changed a lot of stuff. Like, over the years they did add a gas station and a few other stuff here and there, but the whole store itself, it wasn't a giant Walmart. It was a somewhat small Walmart, but it got bigger. So yeah, my town's gonna change as I get older too. That's just one of the perks of aging. I like to think we're aging like a fine glass of wine, but I can't say that. I believe everyone is, but but yeah, anyways, I'm gonna stop trying to sound yappy nice, but okay, what other predictions? Nate, a lot of people think that in the future nature is going to be completely gone, which, yeah, that very well could be a real possibility, but I have seen some works where nature and technology can actually go hand in hand perfectly, so the idea of nature going completely extinct, I'm not saying it can't happen. It's a very real possibility. The fact that it is concerning, but I believe if humans can do technology just right, like here's the thing, if they can blend technology and a little bit of nature, then boom, it is a match made in heaven, because technology can still evolve and nature can still thrive. So it can work. It's just going to be there's going to be a lot of work from other people that we have no control. It's out of our hands and it's up to them how they do it. I know I don't have control of it, sadly, but yeah. That's pretty much how I view nature in the next decade or so. But yeah. Okay, sorry for sounding weird, just I'm usually not one to share my opinions on the future. Like, it's fun to speculate, don't get me wrong, because I actually do enjoy. Oh, so sorry about that. Just, I tell you, my sinuses are. You can tell the seasons are changing to spring where I'm at because, oh, sinuses is acting up. That's honestly why I sound a little off for today. I'm not taking the day off to not make this video because I want to keep doing it. Wednesday, the talk video. What else could? You know, in the future, I thought about humanity discovering the cure to resist aging. I'm not saying live forever because there's no way we're gonna get that. I mean, could be a possibility, but I am terrified to think of the ramifications or side effects of that. Like, I hear people saying if they had the choice to live forever, they would. I would too, but there is a downside. What people don't understand is there is a downside to living forever, meaning you have to watch everybody you love and care about just pass away, and you're by yourself. Now, yes, you can make new friends and all that, but I want that to really sink in for a moment. Like, I would be, oh god, I would probably be sick just watching everyone I loved and cared about passing on. Like, I've had people that I loved and cared about pass on already, so I could not imagine just seeing it over and over again. And the scary thing is knowing I can't do anything. I know what you're saying, but if we could live forever, doesn't that mean nobody dies? Well, yes, technically, but there is a cost to that too, because there's a thing called overcrowding. Like, if nobody could die, the Earth would be overfull, and I dread to think of the ramifications. I'm not saying people will get executed. I really doubt it'll come to that. Although I'm not psychic, so humans of the next generation, how they do it, honestly, it's really in their ballpark at that point. Because so rather than living forever, I would think, you know what, let's slow aging down slightly, so that way, hey, you have a bit more time to enjoy your retirement or spend time with those you love. Then I'm like, okay, yeah, that actually sounds perfect. Like, slow aging. I mean, don't get me wrong, as cool as living forever sounds, I know it's gonna have its downsides, and people, like, it's one of those things that I feel like people are gonna want, but then once they have it, something's gonna happen to them where they're like, oh god, this was a mistake. This never should have happened. Because, yeah. Living forever. Personally, I would rather not live forever, but because, to be honest, I may be selfish, but I do want to go a natural way, Now, granted, I know I can't pick when and how I die, which is, I leave that. I'm not a religious person, but I believe that's for a higher power. That's for a higher power and things beyond me. I mean, the thing is, I could die any minute now, which anyone else can too. Does that scare me? Slightly, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna let it take over my life to the point where I fear every day. That's why I'm recording this video and playing a game I love right now. Because death is scary, I will grip at that. However, you can still feel fear, but you can also learn to live with that fear and harness it in a way. Like, there are going to be moments where you and me are going to have doubts and just that fear in the back of our mind. Because I think what scares humans is the fact that we can't stop this. Like, we could handle any other problem, but this one, you're not prepared for. And to be fair, nobody's prepared for this either. And I don't think nobody will be, regardless what timeline we're in. But I figured I'd point that out now. But yeah. I'm just gonna... Yeah. Anyway. Let's just focus on what we got now. What was I doing? Oh yeah, more predictions. Animal? We might get some new animals in the future. Now, I know that sounds weird, but humanity's slowly been getting that too. Like, yeah, I know some species are dying off right now and on the verge of extinction. But you gotta think of this, when dinosaurs died, they transformed. So, if animals die here, what are they gonna transform into next? Like, can you imagine, imagine this. Let's say I'm 70 years old, and there's a dog, and that's the world's last dog, because all the other dogs evolved into a new animal. and you got to be like, this is what they were before they were dogs, before they were whatever animal this is. Like, it's not something I see in the near future, but it could be real. Like, the fact that it could just definitely be hits me like, oh, yeah, it very well could be, you know? It really could be. So yeah. That's why when it comes to animals, I think we are getting probably gonna have some new ones in the future. Now I know breeders like for dogs, for example, tend to breed different combinations, so that could be a factor, but I'm no expert, I'm no breeder, I'm not gonna pretend like I know it all. But yeah, that's another possible future we could get. But yeah, so with that, I've kind of run out of things to predict in the future. Some of it's dark, some of it's okay, others are more of what if for me. I usually don't think about the future often. Every now and then I like to predict where we could go and how far humanity will go. But yeah. Anyways, let me know what you all think of the future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment, please, because I love reading them. And hey, if you have any suggestions on what I should talk about, or if you want to give me your honest opinion, like it can even be a critic opinion, like you don't like how I handle stuff, that's okay too, because I want to read those and see what you all really think. Anyways, that'll be all for today. Next week, I don't know what I'll be talking about next week. Like, I really wasn't planning on talking about the future, but who knows? Maybe next week I'll talk about something random, but that's why you love the show, right? Alright then, everyone. Take care. This is Still Too Normal, signing off here.